So I've been playing Battlefield 6 for the last 2 days thanks to EA giving me early access to the beta, and I wanted to talk about it. I am insanely impressed with my experience with this game, and there's a lot to talk about because there's a lot being discussed amongst the shitternet. I would like to get my opinions of the game out of the way, and then I'll trail more into the important discussions like the direction the game should take, and some of the things that's been talked around the internet, including the whole streamer thing, but I'll get into that later. First off, I like to say that this Battlefield actually feels like a Battlefield game. In my opinion, 2042 ended up being a good game by the end of it, but it just didn't need the Battlefield title as much as it should have been like a spin-off, almost like Hardline. 2042 just had a different heart in it compared to having the heart of a Battlefield game, and a lot of people were disappointed because a lot of people were ready for that modern era shooter. For a few years there, we were stuck in the whole World War I and II reset of Call of Duty and Battlefield, because remember, Battlefield 1 come out, and then World War I or whatever Call of Duty come out, and then World War II come out for Battlefield 5, and then World War II for Call of Duty come out. So it just sucked by the end of it. I was ready for a modern era, and so was everyone else. And when they didn't deliver with 2042, it kind of just shattered their whole fan base, because again, Battlefield 5 wasn't the best thing when it was first released, but it ended up being a decent game, and then 2042 being meh, and not even really a Battlefield game, just sent everyone off into a spiral. But Battlefield 6 has shown me and many others that Battlefield is finally getting its stuff like all together. This game feels a lot like a mixture of Battlefield 3 and 4, maybe with a scratch on the head of like a dandruff person, like just a little bit of salt of 2042, but not even really. Maybe even the best parts of 2042, which it ended up being a decent game. The gunplay feels more like an older Battlefield game, especially the fact that the ARs, carbines, and SMGs kind of have their own respected ways you can use them. ARs feel a lot heavier and shoot a bigger round, obviously, like 5.56, 7.62. SMGs shoot smaller rounds like 9mm and etc., but at a faster pace and are lighter. They shoot a lot faster. And then the carbines are kind of the in-between of that. They have a lot of power. They shoot the big rounds like 5.56 and 7.62, but they're really lightweight and fast-firing like the SMG, but at the cost of something like recoil. So they have their own respected things. If you want something that's a little bit tamer, a little bit easier to use like an AR, you can use that. If you want to use an SMG that's like not a whole lot of recoil, but it doesn't hit as hard and you can get around the map faster, that's good. But if you want to jump in and get like the crazy experience of a carbine where you get best of both worlds at the cost of like having a hard time using it, then you can do that. It's just like real life. When you get an AR that's only like 10 inches long, you know what I mean? You're going to have a hard time shooting that bitch. In my opinion, the only gripe I have about the gunplay is the snipers. The snipers to me need a little bit of work because in my opinion, they need just a little bit more bullet drop. Obviously, the modern day bolt action probably doesn't have that much bullet drop off a 300-meter shot or a 200-meter shot like these maps are kind of designed for so far, but I want more. If they're not going to change the maps and add way bigger maps into this game, I think they just need to tune up the little drop off, because I miss getting the absolutely like badass angle that you would get from Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 when you'd get a really long range shot and you'd see it arc all the way across and go, oh my god, that's gonna hit. It was just like a high octane kind of thing, especially when you go to shoot like a helicopter or something. It was cool when it would bend down and it would hit them, and I don't know, I just miss that. Like I said, I'm sure they'll add way bigger maps because obviously they have to. These maps feel extremely small compared to all the other Battlefields. I mean, it does feel more like a Battlefield 3 and 4 experience, especially compared to Battlefield 2042's massive ass maps that were super empty and that I hated. But I do think these maps are just a tiny bit small for a Battlefield game. I think they could up it, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and just, again, so you can use more vehicles. Because there's only one map in this whole playtest that you can actually get to use vehicles on, but I'll get into that in a little bit. These maps feel super familiar to Battlefield's like play styles and everything. These maps have been so fun to play on in my opinion, even though they're like in beta, they're so finished. They're really, really nice. Battlefield did such a good job with that. They're super chaotic. It's a chaos that only Battlefield players are familiar with, because it's going to be so amazing if they add things like Operation Metro or Operation Locker to this game, because just how these maps play are already so chaotic, so fun, so high octane, and it brings back that whole Battlefield feeling. It's not too big, but it's not too small where it's Operation Metro all the time. It's like the in-between of, at least these maps are. There's one big one that is kind of more like a Zavod 311 or any of those classical maps, like where it's a little bit bigger, but it's pretty tight. No Diddy. I can't remember the name of that big map I keep referencing, but it's honestly my favorite of all this, mainly because it has all the vehicles available, like I mentioned earlier, but it's really good for snipers while still having a good midsection for the close quarters combat to kind of run in between the mountainsides and the trenches within the mountain itself, and it's just really good. It's balanced where you're not constantly getting spawn killed, like some of the other maps, but it's just perfect. I love it, and I don't know why I keep on queuing up and I don't ever get the map. Speaking of vehicles on maps, I think the cars feel a lot like Battlefield Hardline as far as like the basic buggy and maybe just little stuff you can rip around on feels like the cars from that. Obviously, the driving is mixed in with maybe a little bit of Battlefield 4 and 3 because the driving is very similar between all these games, but it's fun. I've always liked the driving in Battlefield. It's always fun to drift around and rip around the buggies, and it's just like the olden days, man. It's super fun. Tanks are extremely useful as per usual, but they're not OP to me. People are saying they're a little bit too strong, and I think that's just people that's not familiar with the fucking headache that is dealing with a tank on a Battlefield game. People are saying the RPGs are kind of underpowered to kill the tanks with, but in my opinion, it's perfect. I mean, honestly, like, it's Battlefield, man. I feel like the RPG feels just like it did in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. It takes about 2 or 3 RPGs to blow up a tank depending on where you hit it and depending on how much the damage it takes. And if it's tank v tank, then it's pretty equal, just who shoots first. Fun fact about the RPG though, they added this trigger distancing to the RPG so you can't blow yourself up if you shoot the ground in front of you, just like real life. It's such a badass feature, dude. Let me show you this clip of me discovering that for the first time. Stones, I felt like a baller, you know what I mean? I know everything. Excuse me, sir. Why the fuck didn't that blow up? I thought I had defibs. Why didn't that blow up? It just pinged it to death. I hit him with a fucking rocket, point blank, and it didn't blow up, but it killed him. Because it didn't reach the distance to trigger? Do they have that? Do they have distance triggering like real life? Did that just fucking fall on the ground? Dude, that's badass. Anyways, completely continuing on, another thing that I do think is meh is probably the jets. They kind of feel like a shoe wedge cutting through the wind, dude. It's just a little too stiff, especially at slow speeds. The physics of it just aren't polished, and I'm sure this will be fixed later on, but it is something I have to talk about because at slow speeds, it should be a lot more maneuverable than it is right now, and at high speeds, when you're hitting your afterburner, it shouldn't turn well, and it shouldn't be maneuverable at all because, again, it's just how air and physics and all that works. But for some reason in this game, it just feels all the same. Full rains or nearly falling out of the sky, you're going so slow. It's the same. It doesn't really feel different. You just feel like you're kind of stuck in the air, like you're being held up, and the gravity just doesn't feel real. It's disappointing, but it's fixable, and I'm sure they'll fix it with all the other stuff that I've listed. Because again, this is a beta, so I mean, how are you really going to judge how the full game's going to be? Another thing that a lot of people are complaining about is how the weapons aren't locked to a specific class, and I have good news. They have a solution that works for everybody. There's a conquest mode with locked classes for you if this is a problem, and there's a conquest mode that doesn't have locked classes at all for me because I don't think it's a problem at all. It hasn't changed any of the gameplay for me because why does it matter what gun is with what class? I understand maybe it'll make someone better at the game if they can use and access their favorite gun at all times, but usually they'll just swap to a respected class anyway that gun has. So if a mechanic's using a sniper, there's no advantage for that because, again, what are they going to do? They aren't on the field to use an RPG up close. Even if you have like a javelin or something to take care of jets and stuff, I mean, it just really doesn't matter. SMG and ARs are about the same. If they're using an SMG on assault or if they're using a damn AR as a mechanic, it's not much of a difference. And then medics having either or, it really just doesn't matter either. The only thing I'll say is that when shotguns are released, I feel like that's going to be rather annoying to have on every class. I will say even assault class's shotgun that's out right now is a little broken in itself. I think they need to tone down the damage it does and maybe up the range a little bit just so it'll be a little bit more realistic because, I don't know, I feel like it's a little too bad on the drop-off side. I mean, hell, I don't know. I never shot anybody with a shotgun, so maybe it is realistic. I don't know. Now, for the controversy that's been surrounding this game and what I've been waiting to talk about this entire video because people have been bitching at me and bitching about everything. People are bitching about streamers wanting Battlefield to bring a bunch of stuff that isn't traditionally in Battlefield, and I want to say I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I don't know why people are coming in my TikTok chat and my Twitch chat and all that being rude when they don't know that I have a lot of history with Battlefield and that I'm enjoying the game. And yeah, I may play it a little crazy, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's a video game. It's meant to have fun. Everyone keeps asking me my opinion like I did something wrong, but I think that they should keep the core mechanics of Battlefield. There should not be no Battle Royale added to this game. Let Call of Duty have the Battle Royale spinoff. If you really think about it, Battlefield could be dominating COD for what it's been slacking off on, which is the TDM style, casual style shooter like Black Ops has been, like Modern Warfare has been, and then let COD dominate the Battle Royale side. And they're not even dominating it. There's other Battle Royales that are dominating over them, like Fortnite, etc. There's no point to add a BR to the Battlefield game because that's not something that's just, it's not. That's like making a damn Battle Royale for Minecraft. It's not the audience you're selling to. If they want to mod it in, go ahead. But I mean, whatever, bro. Adding rank play is another dumb thing because technically speaking on paper, Battlefield is a sandbox sandbox shooter. There's no reason to have ranked play. There's no point. This is not a competitive game. We don't need a competitive league. There's nothing of that sort that needs to be added to this game, and there's no reason. Don't get me wrong. Some of the things about having progression, have something to work towards, is obviously it's mandatory for a video game. You have to have some form of entertainment and a reason to get back on the game. But there's no reason to have a ranked system. It's just not the audience. I don't think DICE is dumb enough to do any of this anyway, because honestly, they're bringing back the community servers like they used to have for Battlefield 4, so I'm sure they're going to be listening to their diehard fans a lot more than they are going to listen to some damn irrelevant streamers. In my opinion, I don't think one executive should listen to any content creator that hasn't specialized in Battlefield for years. For example, if you want to listen to somebody, listen to people like Stone Mountain 64, Matimio, Level Cap Gaming. These guys have been playing Battlefield for years. They have specialized in it. So let them speak for your Battlefield audience, because again, they specialized in it. They have hands-on experience and they know what people want. But moving on from that, something that impresses me so much about this beta is the fact that this game feels so polished already. Battlefield betas and any alpha testing or anything has been known to be terrible. Come on, I mean, we all know. The initial release of all the good Battlefields that you can think of right now has been terrible. Battlefield 4, I remember it being so broken it was nearly unplayable when it first released, and now it is like legendary. But somehow, I haven't had any issue that isn't fixable with this game, and it's been very mild. Sometimes I'll load in and not have my gun, and I'll just hit a quick restart and it's fixed. Performance issues, I haven't had one. I have an RTX 5070 and a Ryzen 9700X, so yeah, I do kind of have like a buff PC, but I also stream on 3 platforms on the same computer at all times. So it's an extremely taxing thing to have in the background, especially using things like TikTok Studio app instead of using just OBS to do it all. So let's be for real. The game is ridiculously optimized for me to be playing at 1440p at high settings to ultra settings with DLSS on quality and basically having no frame drops while streaming to a million platforms. It's just amazing. And again, for beta, mind you, this is not the finished, polished game. I seriously have a lot of faith put in this game, and I do think that people should quit comparing Call of Duty to this game, because Battlefield's its own thing, and I think Battlefield should be respected in its own right. That has been a rivalry over the last million years, though, and obviously Call of Duty has its few years, so I think it's time for Battlefield to shine. I'm sure DICE or EA or whoever runs this game won't screw this up, and again, listen to anyone else. Don't listen to the general streamers. Don't even listen to me. Anybody from Battlefield even watches this video. Don't listen to my ass. Listen to the real Battlefield fans, again, like the real content creators that specialize in it. If I was to rate this beta so far, I'd say it is at least a top 5 for me. If I was going to go a top 5 list, I would say Battlefield 4 is my number 1. Battlefield 3 is probably my number 2. Battlefield Hardline is probably my number 3. Battlefield 1 is probably my number 4. And this would be top 5. This would be my 5th choice, because this just feels so much better than any other Battlefield that I played in the most recent years that I can't get over it. Please let me know down in the comments below how you think about the game, what you think they should add, and maybe if they should add some of the stuff and your reasoning for why you think that. If you're excited about Battlefield, please let me know about that too, and tell me all the things you're excited about, maybe some of the things you're hoping they'll add to the game. And we'll just have a little bit of discussion in the comment section. I think it'd be a fun little thing, but one thing, please be kind to one another. Don't be mean, and don't be mean to me if I don't share an opinion with you. Still, respect is respect. I'm going to be respectful to you if you're respectful to me. And if you're not respectful, I just won't respond to your comment. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I haven't been as consistent with YouTube as I was for a while there, because honestly, my stream's been doing really good. I've been streaming over on TikTok a lot, so if you guys come from there, or if you guys, I don't even know, if you're coming from here to go over there, I have been having such a fun time, man, and I appreciate you guys so much for all the support you guys have been giving me. I grew in like 500 followers in like 2 days, so I'm just really having a fun time of it. I'm still going to be working on videos and stuff though, but I think I'm going to start knocking it a little bit back, where I only do like maybe a video a week or a video every 2 weeks, just trying my best. Obviously, when I ever get a job, I'm probably going to have a little bit harder a time, but hopefully, as well as these streams are going, maybe I'll be able to make this my career. So I hope you guys enjoy these videos, and if you want to see more videos on Battlefield, don't worry, they're probably going to be coming, because I'm pre-ordering this game actually right now. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. That's it.